first off, congratulations on such an epic career, 20 years in the CFL.
Thank you.
That clip that we just saw, you know, obviously you had to hold back some tears. Jim tearing up there, maybe taking some pressure off you. But talk to me about the relation, because if there were some themes from yesterday's press conference, the relationship that the relationships you've made with, you know, the front office, your teammates, everyone around you, people have some strong words to say about you. Tell me about those relationships you've made over the last 20 years.
Well, it's been amazing since I've been here in Montreal. It's been 16 years, and there's only been really a couple people who's been here that whole entire time, and that's been Mr. Bob Wettenhall and Jim Popp. And we've grown not only as employees, but more as friends. And Jim's been very emotional when he talks about his players. I've seen it before. But it was heartwarming to see, you know, what he was able to put together and say yesterday, and it definitely means a lot.
One of the other things that you started off your press conference with this really struck me, how you pointed out Tracy Ham and the role he had in your development. Who are some of those other people, Tracy, and how important was Tracy to you in your development?
Well, it was huge. I mean, early on in my career when I was in Hamilton, I had veteran quarterbacks, but I wasn't willing to accept their teaching at that particular time, and it hurt me. And I felt that I needed to learn from an experienced championship quarterback, and that's one of the main reasons why I came to Montreal. And I just followed him. He would get there early, he would study film, and whatever he did, I just tried to mimic. And he was great about explaining what he was looking at when he was trying to study film, trying to attack a defense, and I just absorbed all that information. So he was crucial because he set the foundation on how I study today.
When we look at your career and, you know, the past 16 years in Montreal, the story is almost unbelievable. I mean, when you think about it, and I know you've said this before, you know, the fact that you went from, you know, growing up in Los Angeles and now you're planning to live here in Montreal and your family's in Montreal. How do you describe, you know, what your story to people when they ask, you know, what's the deal? How did you get here?
There was a lot of help along the way. You know, there was a lot of coaches, teachers, my mom, a lot of people who kind of guided me. And of course, I've surrounded myself with solid friends and people in my corner to give me advice on what I should and should not do. But I think it all starts with marrying the right person. And I think people who are successful and they have a great companion, it makes things great in life. It makes things a lot easier. So I've had a lot of help, but I've also, you know, believe I put a lot of effort into making sure that I try to do the right things.
Let's talk a bit about the future. I mean, you mentioned how important people have been in your development, like Tracy Ham. When you look at the future, and I know you're going to take a bit of a break here in the summer, a much-deserved break, but when you look at what you want to do in the future with the Alouettes, is it going to be about giving back in the same way that people gave to you in your career?
Oh, without a doubt. When I was growing up at the time, I didn't realize that all the coaches that taught all the kids in the neighborhood, they were volunteer coaches. They had their own lives, their own jobs, but they still took time to coach all the kids in the neighborhood. So that really meant a lot to me, and now I'm trying to do the exact same thing. So I said, whatever city I live in, I'm going to get enrooted into that community and try to do as much as I can, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
One of the things about yesterday, you know, that was great news to hear, the clean bill of health that you got from doctors, your concussion at the end of last season. How much did that play into your decision to call it a career?
It was a big part, to be honest with you. You know, I've always listened to my body, listened to the people around me, and I learned more about concussions. And when I realized that my tolerance to take a hit has gone down, and that really concerned me. So once the season was over, and I said, you know, there's no more. I don't want to risk my body, and especially my brain anymore. There's so much more to live for. And, you know, that kind of just pushed me over the edge.
Anthony, you know, just when you talk about Montreal, I see the emotion you get and how much the city has given you. Talk to me just a bit about what Montreal means to you at this point in your life.
Well, it's been 16 great seasons, but I think the things that really stand out for me is the support that we got as a family when my wife got sick, when she got diagnosed with cancer in 2007. I mean, just across this country, and especially here in Montreal, we got letters of encouragement, and that helped my wife get past what she had to get past. And even when I had my cancer in 2010, the exact same thing happened. And that's what I mean in terms of the connections that you build, because I don't think people see me as an athlete. They see me as a husband, as a father. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that what we had to go through. I mean, we're just like everybody else. Sometimes unfortunate things happen, but we build from it and then we move on.
Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your career and your future success with the Alouettes.
Thank you very much.
You're watching Breakfast Television only on City.